Shaw here at the Brooklyn Music Factory. Here's another video to help you with your building of practice routines at home. We're going to cover a couple topics. The first is, do you need to own an instrument at home? Okay, secondly, we're going to talk about, well, what about if you're not at your instrument? Are there ways that you can practice? So again, these are all about improving your experience at home, building practice habits, making music something that flows and happens often at home. Okay, so number one, short answer to do you need to own an instrument? Yes. Oftentimes parents say to me, I don't really want to make the investment because what if Sally doesn't like piano? I don't want to own a keyboard and then have to get rid of it. Well, let's just put it in simple terms. Let's use an analogy. Reading. If you want to have Sally learn how to read, what's the very first thing every parent does? You buy some books. You have books lying around. You don't expect Sally to love reading with no books to read. Okay, an instrument is essentially a toy in the beginning. And there are really easy, cheap options for guitars, for keyboards, even for drums that'll allow you to get toys in the house for your child to play with. So, we're going to list a whole bunch of different blogs that we've written with links to where to buy these guitars, where to buy these keyboards, exactly what you need to get up and running. So you can check those out in the blog post. Secondly, well, now that we have this instrument, we got a great practice place set up in our house, and we're not always at that instrument, right? But we want to help build practice habits and help make music a part of our life. Learning this language doesn't always happen when you're actually reading the book, right? Learning how to read happens both at the book, but also in conversation, introducing vocabulary, introducing words. The exact same holds true for the language of music. So let's go through the four different instrument categories that we teach at the factory, and let me talk to you about ways that we can practice away from the instrument. Okay, first of all, let's talk about piano, all right? Piano is a beautiful instrument for any kid to start on because of the way the architecture of the instrument is laid out. You got 2 black keys, you got 3 black keys, you have the same 7 white notes that repeat over and over and over. It's very logical. So a lot of times with our students, all the way from beginning to advanced, we talk about visualizing the keyboard. Can you play through your song or through your scale on your arm? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Just the act of visualizing the keys on your arm or on your desktop and trying to play with the correct fingerings, seeing those keys in your mind and playing them is huge for a student. Playing an instrument is both a physical thing, right? It's a physical challenge in that we're trying to get coordinated, and also a mental challenge. It's equally physical and mental. Most of the best practice that professional musicians do is away from their instrument. Okay? It's hard to imagine, but a friend of mine who played with Yo-Yo Ma, I shared this story earlier in a seminar I just gave. He asked Yo-Yo, how come you sound so great all the time, but I never see you practicing? They were on the tour bus. And Yo-Yo said, Mark, thank you for asking. I just finished playing a cello concerto that I have to perform in Cleveland next week. Mark was like, you just finished a cello concerto? Yeah, I sat in my seat and I played the entire thing in my mind. So now I feel prepared and ready to perform. So that's the level of visualization that we're working towards. Okay, let's go on to guitar. What can you do with guitar? There's a couple great ways to practice away from your instrument on guitar. Number one, you can practice just strumming. One of the challenges in the right hand for the guitar is just, can I strum, strum, strum? Those are quarter notes, eighth notes, 8 note, 8 note, 8 note, 8 note. Another one is what we call a chord. Can you call the chords of the song? G, 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 D, 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 D. Those are the chords of the gig song. For a lot of our beginning guitarists, they're going to be learning 1 or 2 chords to begin with. They can absolutely practice visualizing that chord progression and strumming it without a guitar in their hand. Okay, now let's go on to drums. If you look in your home rock binder of your drum student, you will see that we always present a knee beat. Along with the traditional music notation, along with what we call a drum grid, there's always a knee beat. And the knee beat just simply shows you how to play a beat using your knees and our feet. Right hand is the hi-hat. Left hand is the snare drum. Crack, crack, crack. Right foot is the kick drum. Boom, crack, boom, crack, boom, crack. Challenge your student to actually perform the knee beat for you. That's something you can do on the train ride. That's something you can do sitting in the back seat of the car. That's something you can do during the ad whenever you're watching TV. Go ahead and work on your knee beat. Boom, tap, boom, tap. Finally, let's talk about voice students. What can a voice student do when they're not able to sing out loud? Simple. We always work on something called key words with our vocal students. Because one of the biggest challenges for the vocal students is they need to memorize the whole story. They need to be able to present the story of a song. So each verse, we come up with the key words that help us remember that verse. So this is a way to practice away from the studio, away from singing, where you're just working on the memory aspect. So, for example, Mary had a little lamb. So the key word for me there is Mary. I'm going to hold on to just Mary. Little lamb, little lamb. There I'm probably going to go with little. So now I have Mary, little, little, right? And then finally, Mary had a little lamb, and his fleece was white as snow. Fleece, or snow. So now you're challenging that voice student to go through and find just the key words. Not singing the whole song, just finding those key words. So, 2 things to remember when you're thinking about practicing away from the instrument. Number 1, singing is very much a physical thing. So yes, you need to get physically on that guitar and play it. Yes, you need to get physically on the instrument and play it. But it's equally a mental game as well. So all of that practicing you're doing away from the instrument, where you're visualizing the keyboard, visualizing those chords going by, seeing those lyrics in your mind, finding the key words, playing that knee beat and coordinating, those things are equally important when it comes to growing as a musician. So hopefully that helps, and good luck with the journey. You can email me anytime, Nate at Brooklyn Music Factory. Check in with me when you're at the factory. I'm here most days a week. Okay, see you soon.